Hello, welcome to This Week in Robots. That's pretty much what it is. Welcome to This Week in Robots. Welcome to the Weekly Geekly. Be prepared for a robot stream. Let me explain this to everyone in my robot voice. And Cyber can attest to this because he works in the industry. He understands.
I do.
My internet issues are not my issues. They are literally out of my control, and there's almost nothing I can do about what's actually happening. So it just makes live streaming really annoying. And it doesn't matter. If I work
for the company that he is provided with, I would fix it, but I can't. So I just know what's wrong. But yeah, he can't fix it.
Nothing to do about it. So until and we have a floating head, so there's that.
I just don't know anymore. Every week, it's what is this? What is this? His color beard today is 8-bit. That's his color beard today. Yeah. That's fine.
It's actually a lot worse today than it normally is. It's literally not getting any better. Yeah.
That's all right. We know how we're professionals here. We can take over the role.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Weekly Geekly podcast, everybody, where we got topics that we're going to talk about and hear your opinions on them.
I see some people in the chat already getting salty. Somebody saying we're going to hate on Zack Snyder, ruin Justice League. That's not like you guys are already getting defensive, and that's not even
I love it.
It's literally not even what it's about.
I love
honestly. Not even what it's about. All right, so do apologize my roboting. Hopefully, the other host will be able to pick up for my
It's my show anyway.
Yeah, it actually is. So I'm joined by Cyber and Omega.
Hello, everybody.
Omega is doing his impression of MODOK.
Man, I should do that.
By the way, I didn't realize you were going to drop the whole series season at one time.
Oh wow, the whole thing. Oh god, do I really have to? Because I'm not hearing good things about it.
Because we were going to do like an episode a week. We were going to spend like 15-20 minutes talking about MODOK, but the fact that it's all out at once means that now we can't do that.
I have started it. If you're following me on Twitter, you already know my feelings on MODOK. It's going to be a grind, folks. It's going to be a grind.
Oh, here we go. If you gave the Snyder Cut, well, I think I gave it the best review out of everybody.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I think I gave it the worst on my internet.
I think I was the one person that actually gave it a pretty good review. Army of Dead was bad, unfortunately. I was looking forward to it. It was crap. Oh.
So with Army of Dead, real quick, chat, I started that. And I got about 15-20 minutes in, and I had to cut it off because I was watching it while I was helping my daughter with schoolwork and stuff. And I haven't gone back to it, so I hope it gets better. I hope it gets better. We'll see.
I, on the other hand, was watching good media in the form of Castlevania Season 4, which is freaking amazing.
I have heard good things, but I didn't see the other season, so I didn't want to.
Season 1 is very short. It's only 4 episodes. The rest is like 8 to 10.
So, yeah.
Is this Twitch thing about getting followers a thing that pops up a lot in the chat? Because I see it quite often.
Like, the bots? Oh my god! Yeah, they run.
Oh yeah, just
ban them.
It's really weird.
Ban them. Yeah,
I've noticed them quite a bit on the Twitch chat. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, they're everywhere. I need to I need to host you. Hang on. Well, go ahead, do your thing. I was going
to say to answer questions about Black Lightning. I'm going to do Black Lightning's final 2 episodes as one review because the next episode is the series finale. So I'm just going to combine them into one. Superman and Lois review is going to be out. The problem is that this week I went back to my normal work hours. So my work hours are literally like 4 and 5 hours every day at work. And Cyber and I actively to sell my house.
Right.
And so we're spending
a lot of time there.
Yeah, we're spending a lot of the days over there doing that. Once the house is sold, it shouldn't be a problem for me to go back to my normal schedule. Right now, like 3 of my 5 days this week were doing that. And it's a lot of work going through and cleaning up and cleaning out a house. I don't want to bore you guys with all the details, but that's essentially
into the good stuff.
That's essentially what's going on. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about, we have 3 topics for today. However, you guys can, of course, super chat questions or ask questions down below. Let's start off with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. This is talking about, and this is all from the MCU Direct website, which is it aggregates articles from other places. So if you guys want to check this out, feel free to go over there. I didn't realize this, and maybe I missed it, but Shuma Gorath is going to be
can't even see it.
supposedly rumored to be the main villain of the movie.
Yeah, I heard about that.
He's going to serve as a primary antagonist of Doctor Strange.
I'm
thoughts
interested
on this?
I always thought Shuma Gorath was interesting. I don't know too much about him because again, he doesn't really deal a lot with the X-Men. But what little I know of him, I'm super interested in it.
I think Shuma's awesome.
Yeah.
I just hope they don't do him like they did Dormammu.
Yeah,
I'm hoping that they don't turn Shuma into like a person, just make it creature.
Yeah, just make it some weird tentacle monster, like he's supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean, make it weird, like not weird, but make it strange, Doctor Strange weird. Make it like the actual comic weird. I'd be okay with that.
So it says here that they also the Illuminati, which is another site, unveiled that Shuma Gorath will pursue America Chavez because he wants to have the powers to have complete control of the multiverse. So America from the comics got a lot of like basic powers, like super strength. She can fly, all that stuff, but she can also travel through the multiverse. That's part of her powers. So
I don't know anything.
I don't know much about the character either.
Well, I'm just saying that makes sense, which is why he would want to track her down or whatever.
Right.
But
yeah, absolutely.
Wouldn't Shuma, I would presume he would have powers like that already. He's really powerful.
Shuma, absolutely. He's what, from the Chaos Dimension?
I don't know.
Yeah, something like he's from like the in between the space in between the multiverses or something like that. I got to do more research on him because I don't know too much about him.
So you think they're going to depower him for the movies? Maybe.
Or maybe he's got his quest for power. I'm not sure what they'll do with it yet. I hope they do him justice and make him as, because like it's weird because like a lot of Doctor Strange's bad guys are like massively tough bosses, so to speak. So hopefully they don't. I don't want another antagonist that is like the human working for said person. Just give me said person, and we'll be okay. So we'll see. I'm curious.
So what happened to Nightmare? That's a good question. Oh, all those rumors from
that's Mephisto
from WandaVision.
Yeah.
Can you please do Bad Batch when everyone has watched it? I guess
I've seen the latest episode.
My issue is that so the reality is, do I have to watch anything before that? Because that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, I think it's its own entity.
Yeah, it's its own thing. Okay.
Because if I had to watch like two other shit to get ready to watch this one, I'd be like, no, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, I know.
So Jose says most of Doctor Strange villains are beyond Omega level.
Right.
I mean,
so in the movies, I understand that they have to nerf them, so to speak, but I hope that they don't have someone that works for Shuma to help him get
before like the cosmic level stuff. Please don't depower them.
Yeah, just let him be broken. Yeah,
that's
let him be broken.
Well, I mean, the whole point of Doctor Strange and that whole sect of the Marvel Universe is to protect them from large-scale threats. Like, they're literally dealing with, all the time, they're dealing with stuff that the Avengers deal with once in a while.
Right.
Which is what they're supposedly doing. So, anyway. All right, let's move on and talk about the controversial topic that everybody wanted to jump on right away, which was talking about Zack Snyder and his comments about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, saying that it would not have made as much money, which I thought was kind of funny here. So before we jump into this quote, though, Marvel obviously approaches movie making a lot different from the way Zack Snyder does. It's a conglomerate of films, whereas Zack is a visionary director and he wants to kind of do his own thing. Kevin Feige is the overseer for everything, but he gives all the directors a little bit of freedom with their movies. Like each director is slightly different. So I don't in the context of this article, we're talking about Zack if he were in like Kevin Feige's position, not as a director of a movie. I think that would be a completely different conversation that would be had, because could Zack direct a movie for Kevin Feige in the MCU? Absolutely. I think he could. But I think from the context of this article, he's talking about just his thoughts on the MCU as a whole. Anyway, It says Man of Steel director, which is weird. That's what they title him as. If he had been in charge of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he admitted his changes to the MCU would have caused it to maybe make less money or be less loved. In the end, he praised upon the Marvel Studios work by saying there may not be a better way to do it. Nothing I could have changed would have made it maybe it would have made less money or been less beloved before they've created. I don't know if there's a better way to do it. So he's basically saying, like, all the people that have talked trash about how Marvel does their films, Zach is someone who is like the opposite of what people think when they think of Marvel. They think like Marvel's a very controlled environment where the studio kind of has a lot of, say so on what happens, whereas Zach is kind of his own person making the kind of movies he wants to make. That's the way people see it. So he's basically saying that, like, I couldn't have done a better job. Like, I couldn't have done what they did, because if I did it, it wouldn't have been as loved. It wouldn't have made as much money. What do you guys think about this? Do you like agree with the statement? Do you disagree with the statement? How do you feel about these comments?
That's the thing about a lot of what ifs and everything. There's just so in the air, nebulous. It's hard to really tell exactly what would have happened. But I don't know. I'm inclined to agree with him. Yeah, the way he would have done things, it may not have. It may have been good. It may not have. I hate. That's why I hate these.
Well, the thing is, here's the thing. I know that what we do here is to review and talk about opinions and things of that nature. I'm not going to disagree with his opinion, right? That's his opinion. He thinks that what he would have done, that's how it would have played out. I can tell you that out of the movies that Zack Snyder has done, because everybody thinks I'm a Zack Snyder hater, right? I just want to make something perfectly clear. Yes. Not so much a hater, right? More like I don't agree with his vision of certain aspects of the way he directs. One of my favorite movies in the zombie genre is Dawn of the Dead from 2004. That was Zack Snyder, right? That movie is fantastic, and it is one of my favorite films. Another one would be Watchmen. I thought that he did a fantastic job with Watchmen and the way that he did that film. But looking at the list of the other films that he does, I don't see eye to eye with his style of directing. I didn't like 300. Shocker. Okay. I didn't like Sucker Punch. I did like Man of Steel. Anyone who is, I did like Man of Steel. But everything after that, I mean, I just, none of his stuff like called out to me. So it's not a hater, right? I don't think he's a bad director. I just think he didn't do a very good job with DC. So it is what it is. If that makes me a hater, so be it. I think that he did Man of Steel good, but after that, I think everything else fell pretty hard.
I think it would be hard to tick off boxes against Zack Snyder's visuals. Like, I think visually he's an absolutely amazing director. Like,
he's around for a reason.
Yeah. I think that his actual concepts and the way he sees things are beautiful on screen. Like, there's no denying, even if you have issues with the 4-hour cut of the Justice League, visually, there's a lot of amazing stuff in that film. There's a lot of great scenes in that film. And I think over the years, even Sucker Punch, which I've said to this day, the one thing I remember with Sucker Punch was years ago, I was working at a club in North Carolina, and they had these walls of TVs up in the club. And typically they use that for like effects, like they do like flashing lights or strobes or whatever. But throughout the night, they had Sucker Punch playing in the background, because guess what? You don't need to even know the story with Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch is just a series of like action sequences with a little bit of story in the middle. You don't have to see that to appreciate the film. And you say you don't like it. I would agree that I didn't really like the story of Sucker Punch, but visually I think it's a really cool movie. There's a lot of really cool elements in Sucker Punch.
I would definitely agree with the Sucker Punch.
So I think visually he's a director that, like, he speaks through his art in a way. I don't always like what he does with script work or writing or things like that. I'm not the biggest fan of those things, and I've said that over the years. But I think from the standpoint of Marvel, if you were to give him a movie, like, say, for example, there's a movie around like a character or series or whatever that really pulls from his strength, like his visual strength, I think he would do a really good job. I wouldn't put him in charge of something like the Fantastic Four. I don't think he could do something like that. I think you'd want someone with a much more comedy leaning ability.
Yeah, I was about to say maybe like Guardians of the Galaxy will probably fit. Like, if he made his version of Guardians of the Galaxy, that might work out.
See, we'll never know. We can agree and
right.
disagree.
That's
We'll
why I
never
say
know.
I hate these things. You never really
Yeah.
know.
But I think the point he's trying to make here is there's a lot of people who kind of hate what Marvel has done, but I think he's acknowledging that they have been a huge success. Because they've done a really good job. And and of course it's not everyone's cup of tea. Like there are Marvel movies that I don't even really like. Like I love Marvel as a whole, but there's stuff that I don't like from Marvel. So I think
they have missteps.
Yeah, they've had movies that, like, I'll be honest, I didn't think Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was great. And we talked about this. I think it's okay.
I mean, we found that.
I like the first one a lot better, but
we've ranked our movies and stuff. So, I mean, there's a lot of Marvel properties that I don't think are amazing. Whereas I love Man of Steel. Man of Steel is one of my favorite superhero movies of all time. And so I feel like, there's just this unfair expectation with the fan. Like a lot of places like to get fans fighting. You go online, you find these articles, you find this bait out there that gets people fighting with each other. And I think there's more of a gray area than a black and white thing. Mm-hmm. Like I think if you say you like something, like I don't know how you can look at the MCU and go, I hate the MCU completely, because there's such a up and down to what they do. There's so many different shades of colors in the MCU. To say that I don't like any of it is a little bit crazy. Same thing with like the Zack Snyder Justice League movies. I can't say I hate all of them because I don't. I think there's a couple of them that I think are really good. I like the director's or the extended version of BVS much better than the theatrical cut. So there's a lot of things that I think are out there that you could find that you like about it. So I just think it's important that Zack Snyder comes out and makes quotes like this, because it does sort of lean more into how I've always felt about him, is that he's been unfairly pinned against a lot of different things because a lot of the fans believe so strongly in him that it's like Zack Snyder's better than blah, 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 blah. And it shows here that he doesn't feel that way about himself. And I think that's important because it does add another layer to him as a director for me. So that's why I thought we would talk about it and just see what everybody thought in terms of like Zack Snyder's opinion here. Because I don't know what a Zack Snyder Avengers movie would look like. I have no idea.
It would probably be very close to Justice League. So if you liked that, then you would have liked Avengers. I mean, at the end of the day, what the MCU did or is doing is a winning combination. And a lot of what happened with the Justice League was not so much wasn't 100% Snyder's fault, right? A lot of it was they wanted it all done a certain way, and he didn't have the films to do it.
Always trolling.
Always trolling.
24/7. So yeah, I mean, so I don't know. Maybe Zack Snyder's Avengers would have been good. I think Zack Snyder would be a great director for like an X-Men movie, especially something in more of the darker corners of the X-Men universe.
Maybe
I could imagine him doing like a Legion film. That would be pretty crazy.
Yeah,
something like that. All right, so we are moving right along, and let's dive into probably the bigger topic for today. We're going to go through and talk about the Eternals, and dive into these characters, because I know that none of us are super familiar with the Eternals, so I thought this was a good article to kind of go through and get an idea of the characters. So in the chat, if you guys are familiar with the Eternals or you have any opinions about any of these characters, feel free to chime in. So from Angelina Jolie to Selma Hayek, meet the 10 major players in Marvel's Eternals. So these aren't all the characters in the movie, but these are the ones that I guess we have the most information on. And the first one we're going to talk about is Richard Madden as Icarus. I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced in the comics. In his first return to the forefront of mainstream media since the Red Wedding, Richard Madden will be playing Icarus for the leader of the Eternals. Icarus's power set is familiar for the one from the comic book fans. Is able to fly, project red beams of cosmic energy from his eyes. Look for Marvel Studios to modify these abilities in order to not draw too many comparisons of the other red, blue, and yellow comic book heroes. The former Game of Thrones star will be playing a major role in the upcoming film's tremendous staying power moving forward. What do you think about this character? Do you think it's going to be a Superman comparison? Because that seems like what they're going with here.
Anyone who flies, has super strength and red lasers coming out of their eyes, they're going to be compared to Superman.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's a cool character in Superman, and comparing it to everybody, but it's like, unfortunately, all these characters kind of get lost in translation. But yeah, I really don't know anything about the Eternals. I'm not going to be like, oh, but such and such, it has this and that. I don't know. As big of a fan as I am of, geeky stuff like comics, this was beyond me in terms of something I was interested in. So
And I'm looking at the wiki page. Apparently, they've been around since the 70s. I have never heard of them.
Yeah.
They've been around for a really long time. We're talking about like all the way back when like Marvel was still doing the like Jack Kirby style artwork.
Yeah, created by Jack Kirby. So yeah, I've never heard of these guys.
All right, we have Jibba Chan as Cersei. Now, this was the role that was supposedly like everybody thought Angelina Jolie was playing this role. So she also played Minerva in Captain Marvel here. Jibba Chan returns to the MCU after a brief stint as Minerva in Captain Marvel. She will lose the blue skin and play the lead role of Eternals' Cersei. Cersei should be familiar with our readers of the classic as her powers manipulate matter. Set off her involvement in the Odyssey. She's responsible for transforming Odyssey's men into pigs. Cersei has a love for humans unlike any other Eternal. This is the main reason Jibba Chan is a favorite to entwine the Eternals with the rest of the MCU. So Minerva had a very small role in Captain Marvel. Now, I heard that she had a bigger role, but then it got cut in editing. So what are your thoughts on her playing two characters? Does it matter? I don't think Minerva's going to be like, I don't think we're going to see her again in the MCU. So
I don't know.
I mean, with the multiverse, maybe, but
I don't know the actress either. So I don't know what she's been in or anything of that nature other than when I looked at IMDb, I saw that she was in Captain Marvel. I don't know anything else about the character. So I personally am excited to see what this character does, but I don't know anything about it.
Omega, thoughts?
I'm pretty much just going to pair it off of what Cypher said. I know nothing of this person. I just looked through her IMDb. I was like, the only thing she played in that I was familiar with was Captain Marvel.
Yeah. Well, it says Minerva. Yeah, that's why I was saying the multiverse. I don't think we're going to see her anymore unless there's some multiversal reason that she's going to stick around. All right, we have a super chat from Hoodrat Pat, $4.99 super chat. Can't wait for Eternals to reunite the Stark brothers and finally pay off the next time they see each other, them being an all-black Jon Snow. Yeah, I mean, that is the thing, is he's going to be in the movie as well. I guess if you're a fan of Game of Thrones, this is your next thing to look forward to.
I was a fan of the Game of Thrones until that final season.
Absolutely loved Game of Thrones. I loved all the actors and actresses in Game of Thrones. I thought it was a phenomenal world that was built to show televised from such an in-depth world of the books. But they ruined that show to the point where I will not even go back and watch it, or let alone even pretend that I was a massive fan for the show. Just because.
What season did it fall off for you?
Literally, the final one ruined it. Like the one prior to it was still a little tough to swallow, but the last one was just
because as soon as that the battle in Winter Dark, which you couldn't see anything, and also that was got to be the worst. Oh God, that's got to be the worst representation of medieval battle tactics I have ever seen. Who thought it was a good idea to put your siege weapons in front of your front line? Never. This night, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the Eternals. So let's go on.
Actually,
we are, but
we can jump around. It's not specific. So, speaking of Eternals, let's talk about Superman and Lois, because that's what this question is for. So, I guess I will be the one answering this.
Yeah, I've not seen it.
Fireflame 62 with a $20 super chat. Thank you, Fireflame. I really do appreciate it. Will Jonathan get superpowers? That's one of the two brothers. I still believe he will.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say I think he will as well.
Yeah, I still believe he will. I'm not sure if it's the way I believed early on, because I thought they were going to have some sort of connection. They're introducing the idea of artificial powers from Kryptonite on the series, and I think Jonathan may get his powers that way. So Jordan is annoying. Same Legion rings on Supergirl are the ones from Smallville. Supergirl and Stargirl crossover. Superstar. I would actually love a Supergirl and Stargirl crossover, but since this is the last season of Supergirl, I don't know if we're going to get that. I think Stargirl could cross over with Superman and Lois, though, and that would be kind of interesting. And as far as the Legion rings go, I wish the Legion rings on the shows function more like they do in the comics, because they're much more interesting in the comics, but on the shows, not so much. So maybe we'll see it, though. Maybe we'll get a crossover. Maybe you'll get your wish. It may happen. Thank you for the $20 super chat. Let's move on to the next character. Selma Hayek as Ajak. Now, this is an interesting one because I believe this is a drastic change from the comics. In the latest landing of a certified leading actor in the MCU, Selma Hayek plays the leader and spiritual guide of the Eternals, Ajak. Ajax's unique communication abilities make this character the only one capable of speaking to Celestials. That's pretty cool. This power in Hayek's casting led many people to believe she'll be primarily a leader mentor for the team. I could see that. Ajax is also the first on the list that is a different gender in the comics than in the upcoming film. Hayek expressed her excitement on Instagram shortly after the casting. She said, "I'm so excited to join the Marvel family as Ajax, the mother of all Eternals. It used to be the father of all Eternals, but girls, it is our time." And then she says the same thing in Spanish. So your thoughts on this?
I love Selma Hayek. I don't think she can play a action role like this if that's what the character is going to be. I just don't see that. I could be 100% wrong. I just don't see her in this role. But I love Selma Hayek, so I'm excited for this.
I am dubious of gender or race swaps because I usually think they tend to be kind of pandering unless it's actually done well. But I don't know. I guess we'll see. Like I said, I like Selma Hayek, but
I just want to know: are there any diehard Ajax fans?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's why I'm like, who cares? Yeah,
I don't know in terms of how the character will be portrayed. I'm just saying, as the actress, I can't think of anything off. I didn't IMDb this. I can't think of anything offhand where I saw it and be like, oh, she'd be great in a superhero role. She did good in Desperado, but
yeah.
I can't think of anything. If the chat knows something that she did that was action role-ish, I am all ears because I didn't IMDb her. I mean, I could now, I guess.
Yeah. But. So, I mean, if she's going to be playing a mentor like mother role, I don't know how much action it's going to require.
Yeah, I mean, with Odin, he didn't do a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I like her, so I am excited.
Yeah.
Plus, if she's just using like powers to talk to Celestials, I don't know if that's going to require a lot of work. Joker, he got the joke. Don't exist. I mean, that was
that's why I said I'm a little dubious about it, but since no one really knows what the character is, it might work.
Yeah.
I'm looking. I mean, I don't see anything that jumps out at me that was like, oh, she should be in a superhero film. I mean, she did Spy Kids 3D, right?
Spy Kids 3D. That movie was terrible.
Angelina Jolie is Thena. Doubling down on the legacy star Power Eternals has cast Angelina Jolie as the warrior Thena. This is your standard badass warrior princess situation, as Thena has been described as a fierce warrior capable of using cosmic energy to form weapons. Jolie brings yet another level of Hollywood credibility to the cast of unknown characters. And in the brief shot of Thena in the recent Marvel sizzle showed fans anything, is she's going to be fun to watch. So this is going to be like an older Wonder Woman character, is the impression that I'm getting.
You guys cannot see my hands. They should have cast Lucy Lawless. Just saying.
Lucy Lawless? Okay, I like Lucy Lawless. Yeah, okay. I mean, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
But Angelina Jolie does pretty well.
Angelina,
I mean,
she's
she does pretty good.
Angelina Jolie's fine. I'm not a huge fan. Like, I don't go out and see a film because she's casted in it. But usually films that I see her in are good films. Yeah. So I don't dislike Angelina Jolie. So it should be okay, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. This goes back to the Selma Hayek thing. Do you think she's going to be more of an action because she's a warrior princess? Do you think she's going to be more of an action?
I think she probably. I don't know. I mean, it could be very Guardians of the Galaxy esque where there's very few fight scenes, and the ones that they are pretty much not hand-to-hand combat, other than like the one scene, like the prison scene or whatever. But most of it's like very short-lived. Yeah. I mean, it could be like that.
Look, Hood Rat, Lucy Lawless was fine. She's still fine.
Look, she was at Dragon Con. She's awesome. She's awesome. I don't know anything about.
I have to finish it first before I can review it. I have to finish it first.
Call me, Lucy. Call me.
Army of the Dead review.
I will do an Army of the Dead review as soon as I finish it. If you guys are interested. So if we don't talk about it on here, I will.
Since I got Netflix Black, I might check it out.
So I do like the idea of creating weapons out of cosmic energy. It reminds me a lot of Hela from Thor. The way she was able to just create weapons, which I thought was pretty neat. That was a really cool power.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hela was probably one of my favorite villains in the MCU. I think she was just really, really well done. So I'm down for that. I like Angelina Jolie. So Cody here says the Eternals has very little comics, way less known than the Guardians. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm assuming
So
there's
maybe
no
this is full of
tie-
Guardians of the Galaxy because no one knew who the hell the Guardians of the Galaxy were, and maybe this
Right.
will
Yeah.
shoot them up.
All right,
But see, it depends
Yeah.
on if this film is in the
Yeah.
tone of Guardians or if they try to make it a serious role and people don't really care about these characters. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Mm. All right, get ready for me to butcher his name. I never get his name right. Is it Kumal Nanjiani? I think that's how it's pronounced. If I got that wrong, I'm so sorry. Anyway, he's hilarious.
Right.
He's playing Kingo, and he got ripped for this role, by the way.
No, I mean, I follow him. Dude is jacked. I mean, just jacked.
It says he's going the way of Chris Pratt as he jacks up for Kingo, the skilled fighter and swordsman. In the comics, Kingo is a master student of the samurai, becomes the most talented man on earth. Nanjiani is set to take the character in a different direction with a Bollywood human identity with a more cosmic set of skills, which goes along with the theme of this iteration of the team. So it might be Bollywood makes me think there's going to be some comedy in that there.
Yeah. He is a comedian.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at his picture now. Good God, dude did get ripped.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that he's going to be
jacked.
really good. He's going to be really, really good.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't even look the same as he did on Silicon Valley.
So the whole Bollywood thing leads me to believe that he's going to be sort of the comic relief of the movie, probably to some degree. Because I get the idea that he's a master swordsman. Is he going to be like maybe like a Three Musketeers type character where he kind of has one-liners and
I
hope so.
Maybe
like
I hope
Princess
so,
Bride.
Yeah, I hope so because I think he's hilarious.
Don't remind me of that episode of Legends, Paigey. It's not thinking about that. All right. Lauren Ridloff as Makari. Now, The Walking Dead fan favorite Lauren Ridloff plays the first deaf MCU hero as she suits up for the speedster Makari. Makari is the MCU's first speedster since Quicksilver in Avengers Age of Ultron. She has been described as an impatient in the comics and has the opportunity to use that character trait for comedic relief. So another sort of funny character. Ridloff will be representing the deaf community in the biggest stage with this monumental casting. So it's pretty interesting. I will say, in the sense of like representing sign language in the deaf community, in some ways, they tried to do that with the Inhumans, but they failed because Black Bolt was really, really bad in that. Because here's the thing. They tried to use sign language as a way to bring the deaf community into this show, but then they created their own version of sign language. So when something that was deaf could watch and understand. So I'm hoping they don't do that with this. I hope that they actually use something like ASL or something that is more traditional. But a deaf speedster, that's going to be a really interesting combination because with Daredevil blindness as an advantage. So I'm wondering.
I think the character dies not even 30 minutes into the film. they don't know how to do speedsters, so speedsters are busted. So you gotta take them out early.
They are, especially one that's like a godlike speedster. So
right.
I mean, but I would say introducing a deaf character to add representation and then killing them off so soon is probably something they wouldn't want to do. So I don't know if they're doing that. I mean, if they did it, it would be quite edgy. But I don't know. She's from The Walking Dead. What's because I don't remember her.
I don't know. I never really watched The Walking Dead.
I stopped watching season 5, and I don't remember the character.
Let me see who she played on The Walking Dead. Does it say who she played? I feel bad that I don't know this, but I stopped watching after like season 3. So she played a character Connie introduced in season 9.
Yeah, so there you go. So I stopped watching around 5 or 6.
Yeah. That would have been like like 7 seasons after I stopped watching almost. So there we have it. All right, let's move on. Brian Tyree Henry is Fastos. In another feat of representation, Atlanta is it supposed to be Atalanta? Is that a thing?
You never heard of Atalanta?
There's a show called Atlanta. I didn't know that has to be a typo for that. Brian Tyler play MC's first openly gay superhero, Fastos. Every team needs a tech guy. The Avengers have Tony Stark, the Guardians have Rocket, and the Eternals have Fastos. Tyree Henry will be tasked with the most emotional, conflicted, and soft-spoken Eternals, as Fastos tends to prefer to stay behind the scenes. So I'm not too familiar with his work, as I've never watched the show Atlanta. I know it is a show. I've never seen it. But he's going to be their tech guy, and it seems like he's going to be more of a like the guy behind the desk or the guy behind the computer thing. So this is interesting. I didn't think of the Eternals as a tech-based group of characters. I thought of them more as like cosmic power and energy and stuff like that. I never thought of them as like tech. So I'm wondering if his weapons are more akin to like Asgardian magic in the way that tech works, opposed to like the stuff we know here in real life. Because didn't they say in the events of Thor that magic is just science, basically? So I'm wondering if they're going to go that direction with the Eternals. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think we're going to see more of like magic-based technology or cosmic-based technology, or what do you think?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
I have no idea what they're going to do.
Nothing.
Yeah. And if they're going to be like more,
it may be something like how how Stormbreaker was made, how it was sort of tech and sort of magic and stuff. It's probably gonna be something like that, or like how the Infinity Gauntlet sort of tech magic stuff, or magic tech, if you will.
Yeah,
it's probably something like that.
People say I can't believe I haven't seen Atlanta. I don't have like all the hours in the day. Like
you don't.
Honestly, I mean, I would love this. I've still got stuff that I'm trying to watch now that I'm not caught up on.
Yeah.
So
I've seen episodes of it. It wasn't something that I watched all the way to the end, but I watched it. It's a good show. It's a very good show.
Yeah. I'll get around to it eventually. I mean, it's just so much. I'll just binge like all the seasons or something. Anyway, so it sounds exciting. I like the idea of a tech guy. Always really well done. Then we have Don Lee as Gilgamesh. Just like every team needs an engineer, they also need a bruiser. Don Lee's Gilgamesh is primed for that role. Much like Thena, Gilgamesh lives to be a warrior, but with the ability of strength and protection. This formerly exiled Eternal prefers a much less subtle form of conflict resolution. So he's just going to be a hothead, basically.
Bruiser.
I mean, you got to have one, right?
Yeah.
Where have we seen this actor before, Don Lee? I feel like I've seen him in other stuff.
I mean, he was in Pirates, right?
Was he?
Oh, I thought that was Chow Yun Fat.
No, it was Chow Yun Fat, and I'm saying at World's End, wasn't he one? I mean, that's the one that Chow was in, but wasn't he in that? I'm looking now.
Yeah, I looked this up. I had no.
He was in Daredevil. Oh, a stunt coordinator. Am I looking at the right person?
I've seen him in so much stuff. That's why he looks familiar. He's been in so many things.
Am I looking at the right stuff?
Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff. He's been in a lot of TV stuff too. So, yeah, I'm excited for this.
Thing.
I'm really curious to see what his fighting style is going to be like. They're saying Zayas here is saying so he's basically the Hulk. Their thing essentially. Yeah, he's going to be pretty.
There's been a lot of stuff,
hardcore.
but for some reason, when you look up the actual name, like
a lot of stuff comes up.
Yeah, well, it shows up. The other person, the first thing that came up was not him. So cool.
Well, because he's a Korean actor, and I think they tried to change his name for an American audience or something.
Maybe.
So that's why
I don't know.
Don Lee. Yeah, I think that's what happened.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see stunt performer in several Iron Man 3, Shield, Carter, blah 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 blah.
Yeah. So we got Anthony here with an opinion here. So I can't see the general public buying into this. I think the success of Guardians was a lucky one-off.
I kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
Maybe
I kind of agree with that.
I think I'll be honest with you guys. I'm ready to see different superheroes. Like after seeing Invincible and seeing like these others that are not our characters, I'm excited to see different characters because we've had the same ones so many times. So for me, I'm ready to see something different, and I think maybe the public is too. I mean, even Jupiter's Legacy, which wasn't totally well received, was a nice change, you know. So I
still want to see that. I haven't seen it yet. But yeah, as far as like this, what I think more or less is that while the unknowns, it's one thing with Invincible because it's animated. Like The Boys was pretty successful, but those aren't out in those aren't one film, and those aren't out in the theaters.
Yeah,
and I think Marvel is way more catered to children who have no idea who this is.
Right.
They want to see Spider-Man. I don't think that. I don't know. I hope this film does well. I don't think it's going to.
I think the problem is you can't just keep recycling the same character over and over and over again. Like I feel that way about Batman now. I've reached that point with Batman where I literally don't care about almost anything Batman related, just because I'm just it's so much.
Well, like Shang-Chi looks amazing, and that's not your typical. So maybe I just need to see more of this, but I kind of think that
I want it to work only because I think we need to introduce a new era of superheroes. So I hope that this does do that. But also you have to remember this is going to be led into with a lot of Disney Plus push and promotion. So
is it though? Because it's getting nothing right now.
Leading to the next set of, like, this film after Shang-Chi.
Right.
So
yeah, I mean, I said it before, when Eternals and Shang-Chi wasn't getting pushed or shown more, I was worried. And I also said that there's been plenty of films that have had a lot of star power that have been duds. Hello, Mars Attacks. So I think this film has me worried, and I'm going to see it because we see all these. But I think it has me worried for the future of this franchise. And Humans, for instance, it was horrible. And Humans was horrible.
Well,
yeah, there's going to be some hits. There's going to be some misses.
But they were trying to introduce new people then, too. It was awful.
I think it was just badly. I think Inhumans was just badly done. So it's funny that Batman, when I literally have a Batman picture right there on my wall. So I don't hate Batman. I kind of need a break from Batman.
I am. As I've gotten older, I've actually become more of a Batman hater.
Wow.
I have.
The reality is
different towards him now.
I don't know what it is, but I kind of feel the same way about this. Is completely off topic, but who cares? That I kind of got Wolverine overload too for a while. Like I felt like Wolverine was Wolverine overload or whatever, and he used to be my literally my favorite superhero.
Yeah, so, especially me being a huge X-Men fan. I'm like, there's so many good X-Men out here. Y'all focus only on this idiot.
I don't know if it's because there's so many attempts that are just misses for me from stuff that I'm just like I'm just over it or whatever. But I don't know. I have no clue. Icarus is my favorite. Selma Hayek in Hitman's Wife Bodyguard. So
I didn't see that film. So I did say in the chat that I could be wrong about her in an action role. I don't think I saw that film. I don't think I saw it. It doesn't stick out to something that I've seen. So
yeah. Thomas, it's funny you mentioned that. I actually wrote out my notes for the season review, like the whole season. And I'm going to film it like tonight. So it should be ready tomorrow. So get ready for that. But there's not going to be any, they started out as reactions. That's not going to happen. There's way too much music in that show. So I'll be talking about the whole season. It'll be wrapped up tomorrow. I'm so excited. When I sat down and did my notes, I was like, I have time to do it today, finally. So between yesterday and today. All right, so the next character we're going to talk about is Leah McHugh as Sprite. So there's an engineer and the muscle. Now there's their jester, with Leah McHugh Sprite. Sprite's shape-shifting abilities, able to be the jokester of the group despite her appearance as a young child. Sprite is actually incapable of aging in the comics. This is the breakout. McHugh is primed to take an early name for herself in MCU. So this is like her first big role, I guess. And so here's the deal. My opinion on shape-shifting characters. The bigger a star is, the less shape-shifting you see.
Yep, because they stay as that character because there's no they want to have that character. They've already paid for that character. Yeah. Yep. They want that character to be shown. And they do that with mask characters too. With Spider-Man, you would tell, and like the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man, his mask would always get messed up so you could see him. So
that's why I give Carl Urban mad respect. And I saw him at DragonCon last time.
Carl Urban's amazing.
Yeah. That's why I give him so much respect for Dredd. He kept that mask, he kept that helmet on the entire movie, just like Dredd does in the comics.
I know it came off a couple times in the series, but the Mandalorian, Pedro, he kept that mask on for the majority of that series.
Yeah, the majority of it, yeah.
Yeah. Ashley says, do you think there's an oversaturation of comic book movies? No, I think there's an oversaturation of the same characters. That's the problem.
Yes, it's the same characters.
This is the thing. This is the struggle, right? Because the struggle is real. There's so many amazing comic book characters that studios don't want to invest money in because so many people are like this, like, oh, nobody knows about the Eternals, so nobody's going to spend money on it. If that's the general thought process, then they're never going to make things like this. Mm-hmm. So it's like they don't want to risk making things because they don't think they're going to make $1 billion off of it.
Yeah, because corporations are cowards by nature. They're going to go with what's safe and what's a sure thing.
The only way you can assure that we're going to get more variety is stuff like this.
I think
that's the only way.
I think if you look at it this way, do you think there's too many comedies? Do you think there's too many action films? Do you think there's too many romantic comedies? They're out there. They're getting a lot more superhero films now because 20 years ago or 25 years ago, you couldn't make these films, whether it be from CG limitations or the fact that they weren't mainstream. I like the fact that you're seeing a lot of lesser known comic book characters getting spotlights. I think where there's a thin line is that they spend a lot of money in creating these films, whether it be like the Eternals, it's got to take place in space, right? It's going to be a lot of CG. If this movie fails, it's going to be harder to keep those going. But I think overall, it's not too many superhero films. It's just in how well it is done in that iteration to whether or not it succeeds. And I am all for all iterations of these types of films as long as they're done well. Otherwise, you may start seeing less and less of them just because they are putting too much money and faith in them being successful just because other versions of them have been.
Yeah, I've been wanting these type of movies since I was 8 years old. I was sick of all these stupid drama movie about some woman and her feelings or some BS. No, I want dragons and laser swords.
Right.
And now I gave me them.
Well, I mean, if you look at something like the Joker movie that came out recently, something like that, those are the kind of movies where if you go out and you support them, the studio goes, you know what, maybe there's a market for like weird films. Like maybe there's a market for movies that aren't just normal, like the cookie cutter movies or whatever. So
when Joker was, well, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but Joker is kind of like a comic movie that's not filmed like a comic movie.
It's not.
You could just place that guy with
I'm not going to talk about the
crazy person.
I'm not going to talk about the Joker film.
Yeah, you could replace that guy with any just crazy person. It's still
no. I'm not. Let's not get into reviewing the Joker. That's not really what I'm trying to say here. I'm trying to say that movies like that are different from what we normally get are directly result what they decide to do later on with properties. So if something's a big hit, like the Joker was a big hit, then they might go, hey, that's a risk. We can take a random character and throw him in an Elseworld story and, go with that or whatever. So I think the same thing goes for stuff like this, because when Guardians of the Galaxy came out, yes, it was a risk for Marvel, but would we have gotten Thor Ragnarok if Guardians wouldn't have been good? Probably not, because they wouldn't have known, because people responded well to it. So I think if there's something that you want to see, something different, you have to support the things that are different. So I think Eternals doesn't necessarily need to be $1 billion movie, but it definitely needs to make money for them to go, you know what, maybe there's a market for this.
I also think that it's important to note that we are running out of well-known actors and actresses that can play certain roles. So it's going to be harder to find roles filled, not by good actors and actresses, because there is a sea of them, but in terms of trying to market a film that's already lesser known comic characters with lesser known actors and actresses, it makes it harder to sell if it's not done properly. And that's why this one bothers me, because they threw a lot of star power at this film. And I think was it necessary
to make up for the knowledge on these characters? I really think that's what it was.
Probably.
Yeah, Pagey here with the super chat, and he wants me to say this out loud because I guess he doesn't think obviously you people don't know me very well. Ralph Boner, Hugh Jazz, or Phil McCracken.
He got you.
He got me.
He got you.
You guys cannot see my hands.
So Thomas says Wonder Woman 1 was also a good movie, a bit different, but Wonder Woman to me wasn't a risky property. I don't think.
Yeah, Wonder Woman was a well-known
I don't think
character.
of Wonder Woman as a risky property. I think of Wonder Woman as in like the top 10 most well-known superheroes of all time. I think, but
I mean, she had her own TV series.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get that if you're.
I'm actually surprised it took them this long to make.
That's the bigger issue. Is it took that long to make it? Now the second one, that is what it is. But I think the first one was pretty good.
All right, Barry, and this I can not get his last name. Kyogen is Druig. Dunkirk star played the outsider with Druig. Druig disagrees with the other Eternals on how they interact with humans. This positions this character in the tension-creating heel amongst the team. Druig's mind control and reality bending. Oh, he's going to be broken. Reality bending abilities pose a powerful threat to whoever gets in his way, Eternals and otherwise. So that is the final character they talk about in this article. He's a reality warper. That's
yeah, he's probably
taking a Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, he's broken.
He's giving me like Joffrey vibes a little bit. Like I don't know what it is. Something about him is giving me like Joffrey vibes. Like he's gonna be very arrogant, spoiled, and kind of want his own way or whatever. I actually think that he's going to be probably. Do you think they're positioning him like a Loki character?
I don't know enough about the character.
Yeah, that's
probably
because
I'm saying that because he's not a villain. He's part of the Eternals, but he's also
is he a villain?
I think he's an outsider with the Eternals. I don't think he's a bad guy, is he?
I have no idea. I don't know.
I'm shrugging over here.
To me, that's what's exciting about this. I'm really excited that we're getting these characters that we don't really know that much about, which I think is really exciting.
I'm definitely interested. I have no idea. I'm just, like I said before, I'm just along for the ride.
Yeah.
So
we'll just have to wait and see, chat. If you guys know, let us know if you're excited or if this is a good casting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I will say that I'm excited about some of these characters. I think, like, thinking about like shapeshifter characters, how long is that going to last in the movie? If that person becomes a big star, come out a sequel, they're going to want less shapeshifting time. It happened with Jennifer Lawrence in Mystique. So don't know if that's going to be a problem. We didn't see anything about Black Knight, which I believe he's going to be a character as well. But we didn't get any information on that. I thought was kind of interesting. But Eternals. So, final thoughts on this before we wrap everything up. Are you excited? Not excited? What are your thoughts on this?
I am, because I don't know. I don't know if it's if people read this comic and these characters are supposed to be like a big deal in terms of like the MCU going forward. I don't know. Is that what they are pitching them as when it comes out? I don't know. Are they a one and done type film? I need to see more. I think that the star power put into this should be enough to make people want to go see it. I think that the characters are unknown enough to make people interested. If they, like you say, that actually makes you excited. I'm on the fence. I think that this film, I said I was worried they didn't show anything. Giving me the star power here doesn't really change my opinion. I'm still worried that this film is not going to be as good as the other MCU films. And I think that could be dangerous if these are going to be a big role in the future of MCU phases, if this is not a good look, if it has to be forced down our throats if they're bad.
So this year we're getting Widow, we're getting Shang-Chi, we're getting Eternals, and we're getting Spider-Man. Would you say the Eternals is at the bottom of your list out of those four?
Well, it has to be, because I haven't seen anything. I'm not like, oh my God, I can't wait to see this, because there is literally no hype for me to see this. I didn't read the comics. I'm definitely hyped to see Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, and Black Widow. I've been hyped for years. I mean, the hype's not there right now, but I wanted to see it. So when I heard about the Eternals, I was like, okay, is this another Inhumans or is this another Guardians? And that is kind of where I'm at. If it's another Inhumans, I want it to go away and pretend it never existed. If it's another Guardians, I think that can do well, because I think this next Guardians film is it for them. Dave Bautista, which we haven't talked about, says he's done. So he doesn't want to be Drax anymore. He wants it over. And so I think that this could take over that role, but at what cost? So we'll see.
What about you, Omega?
Yeah, you're muted, my friend. So fix it. He's excited, chat. It's the superhero power. I'm not doing dead air here. It's the star power. He loves all of them. Selma Hayek is his girl. He likes Angelina Jolie as well. He can't wait to see the shape shifting happen on screen. He likes
wow. Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah. It must have been when I moved the mic. Anyway, I'm not sure really what's going on with the Eternals. I never really read the comics. I'm definitely interested in it, but in terms of hype factor, it's
I can't take him seriously, chat. He's
by the way, turning off my camera would not do anything for what's.
Oh yeah, it's not even on his end.
Yeah,
we were talking
it's
about
a packet
earlier.
loss issue on the upstream. Whether he cuts his camera on or off, it's not. It's irrelevant.
Yeah, I couldn't even do any. Literally, there's nothing I could do here. Fix it. It's not even.
It's not even on his end.
It is an outside issue. It is a maintenance issue that he's got to hopefully get squared away.
Thoughts on MODOK? It's a whole season. I haven't to watch it yet. So
I watched some.
He's seen it. You can't see my hands.
No, I've seen
tune
a
in
couple.
next week to get our opinion on it.
I can tell you now that Robot Chicken should stay in their lane.
Wow, really?
Yeah, that's what I think. So with Robot Chicken, right, it has scenes. So you're watching a show out of context with little funny one-liners, like, Jim from the 80s. What is she doing now in the 2000s? Like as a drunk lady, and it's really funny. And then they'll switch to something else where it's like, oh, G.I. Joe, and they were making little funny jokes. In MODOK, they're literally trying to take an entire 30-minute episode, as well as however many episodes there are in the season, and tell an entire story all with these little jokes while trying to keep the continuity of everything else happening. It's not looking promising this is a spoiler for next week. Under me, it is not looking promising. I know that's a shocker for everybody in the chat who thinks I hate everything, but I just want to be entertained, and this is not doing it so far.
Do you think we'll get a Eternals trailer, Black Widow, or we Shang-Chi?
Nope. I think Shang-Chi probably. I think Shang-Chi will get one.
Wait, what did you say? You started to break up.
Talking about a trailer for Eternals.
Oh yeah. I'm sitting there doing all these hand moves like I usually do. I was like, oh wait, they're green screened out. Drink responsibly.
Cody here.
So I'm not saying the one-liners weren't funny. I'm just saying that in small segments, if I was watching Robot Chicken and then it would, like, during a course of an episode, it would, Snowy change channel to this MODOK scene and it showed a scene from it, I'd be like, oh man, I'd want to see a whole episode of this. But then I quickly realized I didn't.
Just got to fix something over here.
But we can't see you anyway.
Hey, yeah, you can.
No, we really can't.
Okay, I'm back.
Oh, well.
I can't take him seriously.
All right. Anyway,
I can't.
We are at the hour mark. It is time to wrap this up. So, anyway, you guys have anything you want to say before we head out? Cyber, Omega, any thoughts, any opinions, any stuff happening? I know Cyber's streaming again now.
I'm back, guys. But I got my schedule. I'm trying to work out my schedule, but I was streaming last night. I streamed for like 5 hours yesterday, and I was streaming the day before, I believe it was. I'm not sure. But I am getting back into streaming. We were playing Fortnite and switched over to Phasmo, which is the background that Omega is currently in. There's a couple games coming out. I think this week Biomutant comes out. I might actually pick that up and play that. And at the end of June, there's another game that comes out called Disgaea. I might be playing that. Resident Evil 8, I might be playing that as well. There's quite a few
Mommy
things.
Milkers.
what he said. But overall, we're back over there on Twitch, guys. And a lot of you have come over during my hiatus from this channel and hit that follow button over there. And I got to tell you, it's meant a lot. So I can't wait to actually start interacting with you guys live when I am streaming over on Twitch. The YouTube channel is going to start picking back up as well with Coin Op Conversation, where we talk about games and other things that we don't necessarily cover here on the Weekly Geekly podcast. You can find me at Cyber Ninja, which you can see right here on pretty much all socials. It's me. If somebody's impersonating me, why? But yeah, so that's where you can find me, and Omega is usually around for that as well. So if you like Omega, hit that follow button for me, not for him.
And a little behind the scenes, yeah, you can see my hands now.
Shocker, he's not really a head, chat. What?
So, and so I'm actually starting to stream a bit more since I got some new equipment, and actually I'm do some more. Yes, we need to do a hot tub stream. I might be doing that.
I have a hot tub.
Yes,
I could, but who wants to see that? Chat. I'll push some buttons if you want to see this in a hot tub. Push them. Let me know now.
Yeah, so I'm going to be streaming more on Omega Veltal at twitch.tv/Omega Veltal, and also follow my DeviantArt. I had posted a couple more. I posted a cyberpunk themed picture not too long ago. I'm still working on some things, and also I might, if I get another camera, I might start putting together these things. You know, some
some of the Warhammer stuff.
Yeah, because I have a huge box of stuff I bought years ago. I still never put together. I'll take it. I'll take it.
It looks like Frozone's evil twin.
Yeah, there's some of the sprues.
It's Andy Serkis. That's actually a compliment.
Yeah.
Was it a Green Man Group?
Wait, who looks like Andy Serkis?
If anything, you look like a
I'm saying, I mean, if you're gonna make me see a cuttlefish,
are you guys gonna play Marvel's Avengers? I don't think.
Oh God, no,
nope. I have the Miles Morales expansion / other version of Spider-Man that I haven't played. I have it on PlayStation 4. I was waiting until I got a 5 to upgrade for graphics and loading time, but I do have that, so that's not something I'm against playing on stream.
So somehow, some way, Cyber, this is kind of funny. I logged into Final Fantasy 14 and went to go into the house, the FC house, and it had given Omega leader of the free company.
Because apparently, since he never actually walked into the house, and when I finally logged in and walked in,
it was like, "Oh, you're leader."
It gave you the property. That's
by default.
That's amazing.
I should have sold it.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought it was funny because I logged in. I'm like, "Why am I a prospect?"
When did this happen? Yeah, I might be streaming some 14, by the way, also. And as soon as New Genesis comes out, I'm definitely.
Have you beat Sapphire Weapon yet?
Sapphire? Wait, there's a Sapphire weapon?
Mm-hmm.
No, I thought Diamond was the last one.
No, the Sapphire is you have to fly in the mech and you fight it in the mech. You haven't done that yet?
I did all those. I did the whole quest. Yeah, because Diamond Weapon is the last one. I forgot. Sapphire is the one you fight in the mechs, and the rest you fight on foot. I completely forgot.
All right.
Look, it's been a long time since I fought that thing because I quit for like 6 months.
I quit years ago because I don't have that kind of time.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, we're getting out of here. We will see you guys in the next stream next week. Watch MODOK, all 25,000 episodes before next week, so we can talk about it. So, see you later.